Hello YouTube and welcome to Turmoil in the Toybox. I'm your host Aaron Hauser, and today we're going to be reviewing the NECA Series 1 set of figures from Guillermo Del Toro's new film, Pacific Rim. This Series 1 set includes two different Jaegers, including Gipsy Danger on the left and the Crimson Typhoon on the right. And it also includes the first Kaiju, nicknamed Knifehead. Now, to give you kind of a frame of reference for how these characters fit into the film, let me give you a little plot synopsis here. In the near future, giant monsters identified as Kaiju have risen from a portal in a crevice beneath the Pacific Ocean, resulting in a war which takes millions of lives and quickly consumes humanity's resources. To combat the monsters, a special type of weapon is designed, massive robots known as Jaegers, which are controlled simultaneously by two pilots whose minds are locked in a neural bridge. But as the fight continues, even the Jaegers struggle to win the war against the relentless enemy. Against all odds, the remaining forces of mankind make a final stand. One of the reasons I'm really excited about this film personally is because it comes from one of my favorite directors, Guillermo Del Toro. He's done some amazing work in his time. Hellboy, Hellboy 2, The Golden Army, Blade 2, Pan's Labyrinth, Mimic, Kronos. The guy has an amazing eye for direction, and all of his creature design that he does for his films just looks phenomenal. I mean, Pan's Labyrinth is a perfect example of that. But that's why I'm really excited to see Pacific Rim, because this is a great way for him to show off his love of anime and robotics, as well as his amazing creature designs that he puts into each of his films. So everything with the Kaiju and the Jaeger, it's really setting up a very cool visual display that will probably rival a lot of other robot-based movies like Transformers or Real Steel. I think this is going to have a very distinct look to it, and these figures are a great way of showcasing the very creative design he put into each of the characters. So let's start by taking a look at the articulation and detailing in each of these figures. We'll start with the first NECA-released Kaiju, nicknamed Knifehead. You can kind of see as to why he got that nickname. Some really nice detailing in this. I really love the color effects all over the arms and stuff. The really cool shell portion on the back looks really neat. And the tail has a flexible wire inside of it, so you can position that left or right, a whole bunch of different ways. The legs have articulation in the knees, in the hips. There is no articulation in the smaller arms up front, but the larger arms, they rotate forwards and backwards, and then has a joint at the elbow. And then another really cool bit of articulation they put in there was the articulation in the mouth. So you can actually open and close the jaw. You can't close it completely because the tongue is sticking out there, as you can see. But it does close, does open there. It looks better open because when it's closed, you have this kind of gap in the neck there, which looks a little odd, so they kind of sculpted it. Kind of funky there, but overall, I think that's a very cool touch. Loved all the different eyes running along the top of the head there. And this is actually pretty damn sharp. I was surprised about that. Another thing, that's something I really wanted to point out, was I really applauded NECA's packaging for this figure. Something that they did with this one that I have not seen them do before is they actually individually wrapped these two smaller hands in plastic so that it wouldn't scrape against the front of the clamshell packaging. Very, very nice touch. That way you don't get any sort of smudge portions with the paint rubbed off. So I was really, really appreciative of that. Overall, I really like this figure. It's very small. I expected this one to be slightly bigger, maybe about that height, but it's a little smaller. Nothing bad, though. The only thing that really kind of surprised me is, unlike other NECA figures, unlike most NECA figures, this one actually does not have any peg holes on the feet. Now, the reason I find that odd is because this one, you kind of have to balance him with his tail, but this would have been the perfect figure to have that added feature on. So, it's not a deterring point. I wanted to say that. You can position him and stand him up quite nicely without it, but it would have been a nice touch to have that. So, that is the first Kaiju Knifehead for you. Set him off to the side. Next, we will do the Crimson Typhoon. This is a very, very cool mech. Really love the amount of detailing in this. Give you kind of a 360 there. Now there's some very interesting articulation on this figure. He has articulation in the ankles, in the knee, in the kind of upper knee portion there, ball joints on the hips, ball joints at the waist, and then these three arms all have individually different articulation to them. So the claw here does not actually, I don't think it moves. If so, I'm not going to try to break it because it seems like it's pretty fragile on that part. Has elbow articulation, and then the shoulder is on a ball joint. Now this front arm only rotates at the elbow and then rotates forwards and backwards very slightly. Now I've heard from several friends of mine this is a very fragile portion, so you just really want to be careful getting that out of the package. As far as the back arm, it rotates sort of on a ball joint there, and then it also has the elbow articulation. I want to say, I think it has hand articulation. Yeah, both of these do have wrist articulation on the smaller wrists, so that is kind of a nice touch there. And then the head is also on sort of, it's actually two different joints because it tilts on one and then can rotate on a ball joint at the base of the neck. So that's very cool. But overall, I was really, really in love with this figure. This just looks so phenomenally cool. They did a great job with all the detailing on the emblems. It says Crimson Typhoon on the shoulder there. And then I want to say these markings actually show how many different kaiju this specific mech has destroyed in battle. So that was a cool touch that they actually got all that intricate detailing on there. The head looks really cool. Love how that looks. The colors on this are just phenomenal. There's no paint bleeding, no paint scratches, nothing. These guys are just flawless. Really, really love the Crimson Typhoon figure. So, pros and cons. Pros, love the design. I think some of the mixed articulation was kind of a surprise that they didn't just put another ball joint in for the front arm as opposed to the back. But overall, I think it looks really cool, and I love the leg articulation. I thought they did a great job with that. The only con I could say, honestly, probably is the fragile front arm. Like I said, some people that I've talked to, some other collectors have said that they got theirs out of the package, or they thought that it had a ball joint and they broke it. Little unfortunate, but hopefully with some super glue you may be able to fix that. So that is the Crimson Typhoon for you. And then last but not least is the hero Jaeger of the film, Gipsy Danger. Very, very cool. I really love this figure. Give you some kind of up close look at the back there. Very, very neat looking. Articulation in the head. Very tight because of the, it looks like it's on a ball joint, but the this sort of neck portion kind of inhibits any real movement on the head. So there's articulation in the shoulders, sort of a ball joint there. Articulation in the elbows, in the wrists, in the upper legs there. It flexes in and out slightly. Flexibility at the knee. And then flexibility on a ball joint for the ankles. So some really nice paint detailing on this one. Has a little bit of bleeding and some portions on the head there. Nothing horrible though. The backs look really nice on these ones. Really love the sort of the spinal column portion there. Looks really neat. There is some mid waist articulation there. That's one I forgot to point out. Very, very cool there. I was really, really impressed with this figure because I don't know, I thought they could have gone with a lot less articulation for this, and I figured for the cost of doing these figures they would, but they surprised me with a lot more articulation, especially in the legs and in the arms and the torso and stuff, so it looks really, really cool. And they did a great job capturing the real look of this figure, or the real look of this character in the film, excuse me. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how these Jaegers go up against the Kaiju in this film. I think it'll be very neat to see just how they use their various weapons and everything in battle. There's supposed to be an 18-inch version of Gipsy Danger being released from NECA, actually, for this film, so that'll be cool. I'm not sure when the release date is on that just yet, but keep an eye out for that. NECA will probably post some production photos on that within the summer, so no word yet if they're going to do a 18-inch version of either of the Crimson Danger, or Crimson Danger, wow, Crimson Typhoon, or Knifehead. But hopefully they will. It won't be a true quarter scale figure, because if it was, the figure would be ridiculously massive. But I think it's very cool that they are going to release a large format figure of Gipsy Danger, and that one's actually going to include, I want to say there's like it's like a knife chain weapon that the mech uses in the film. So that'll be cool to see that as an additional feature on the 18-inch version. So. Overall, these figures are just fantastically well done. I was really impressed with the amount of detailing and articulation in them. I don't know why. I was expecting a little less, but NECA really delivered on this set, so I was very pleased. Each of these guys goes for $15 at Toys R Us, which is way the hell cheaper than what I was seeing them go for on Amazon.com, which was around $20 to $30 each. Some places I've seen it go for even more. Some people were charging roughly around $80 for just this set, and I picked these three up for around $45 at Toys R Us. So definitely check there before you order them online. If you have to order them online, I will say it's a safe bet that you're going to get, you know, a quality product with this set. You don't have to worry about any of the paint or anything really being as bad on these ones. They did a great job, and all the ones I saw at Toys R Us looked really good, so I didn't really have to, you know, shuffle through all the ones on display to get to a good set. They all looked really well done. So, but that's about it for this review. If you have any questions about the figures, just leave them in the comments below, and check out some of my other reviews. As always, thanks for watching.